Welcome everybody to another episode of Indie Inquiries here on Game Wisdom, where we examine the art and science of games. And here on this show where we review Steam store pages and provide you with the best advice for how to market your indie game on Steam or any other location. And if you'd like for us to take a look at your store page for a future piece, please reach out. Join me, my co-host here from Casual Game Studio, Joshua Reyes. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. I got my caffeine and I am hyped. Excited to look over Steam page, so let's get going.
Yep, we have another action-driven one lined up this time. This is Supernova, a auto battler slash roguelite style game. And what we have here is one that this one was again submitted last year, and we're finally getting to all of them. So as always, let's start with the thumbnail. And the thumbnail itself is, well, it's there. Like, it's properly centered. But as we were talking about this in the pre-recording, there's just nothing here that's really, latching on in terms of what we're looking at.
Exactly. So it doesn't really... Again, it doesn't do anything egregious, but it's very, very plain. It doesn't really show me, and especially after watching the trailer and seeing what's in it, there's a lot of stuff that they could have transposed from the action and the bombasticness of the trailer over to this. So just a missed opportunity, I feel, and it doesn't really call out to me in any way. And then again, if you just pop in ahead, that title card on the screenshot, that one right there, showing more action, missed opportunity there. So, yeah.
And that's actually going to be a theme in terms of this thumbnail that's going to pop up several times
exactly
in this review. So, all in all, it's not a bad thumbnail. Structurally, it's there, it's not hard to read, anything like that. But, again, as we were saying, if you're scrolling down on Steam looking for a game, this is one that your eyes are probably just going to glaze right over and then go straight to the next one.
Yes, exactly.
So grade-wise for me, I think I'm just going to give this the average C. It's not bad, but it's not doing anything noteworthy as well.
Yeah, I will agree with you on that. I'm going to go with the C also. Same.
So with that, I have the trailer queued up, so let's watch that. So we start off right with some bombastic nature here. I don't know the music is unique, but it does fit, I think, what they're going for, this sci-fi combat.
Yes, that fits perfectly.
Like the picture-in-picture for the choose your items. Let's see.
Great. They show and displaying everything right after that. Nice structure, nice flow. Actually showing some more items I noticed now. I'm watching this again right after they displayed the text and they're going to the enemies. Good flow, good structure.
We're zooming in. It's not just showing raw footage.
Exactly. Exactly. Active footage.
And much more.
Like we said, this part right here, the collect 9 souls from each one, could have let that play out a little bit longer. That's one of the only issues I really have here. Call to action.
Yeah. It hangs on. You can see the motion in the background as well.
Right. And I think that's throughout, right?
Yeah. The only real issue there's two issues I think for me with this one. So the one thing that kind of stood out the most is the font. If you look at stuff on 23 seconds, Protect Your General, you can see the Y and the A specifically. It just really sticks out like a sore thumb. Now it looks like Protect for General.
Right. I mean, it's very... Again, I always just take care when you're using your font and you're trying to, add some style. Don't go for style over readability because, again, I'm not when I was reading it. So it's going by so fast, and then if you're not able to fully read it, then the information you're getting is not going to really process right. Instead, you're going to be more focused on I can't read it instead of internalizing the information. So just be careful with the font choices there.
Yeah. And like the only other thing that I would ding this trailer on is that it doesn't really have like that bombastic ending.
Right.
And part of that again could just be the weakness of the auto battler genre itself. It's not exactly a genre that you can really get like crazy money shots with.
Yeah, indeed. Agreed with you there. It just kind of hits a stasis. It hits its beat. It hits its beat and it goes, but it never goes above it. And again, I just might be like you said. It just might be because of the genre. I'm not sure what else you could show off there.
Yeah.
So.
And then the second thing, the 6-second one, is just literally like watching like the title animation.
Right.
It doesn't really like do anything. It doesn't hurt the page, but it doesn't really help it either. Yeah, so overall for this trailer, I think it's pretty solid. You can definitely tell that some time was put into it to make sure that, you know, the music is like kind of matching what's going on in the game. You have the zooming in. Again, I always like when they do like picture in picture or, you know, like the multiple images going on. So overall, I think this is a good trailer. And outside again of the font and kind of like missing like that punch at the end, I think this is relatively solid.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to agree with you 100% on that.
So I think grade for me, I'm gonna give it a B minus.
Yeah, I will agree with you. But B minus on this one also. Great trailer. I'm glad. Again, it's nice to see some structure, and they really put a lot of thought into this one. Again, maybe it was held back by some of the genre conventions, but a great job on the trailer.
So let's go to the images now. So we have a total of 7 screenshots. So the first 2 are original. They have shown like fireballs and explosions in the other one, but not these specific ones. Number 3 is original as well, at least from what I can tell.
Yes.
And then 4 was used in the trailer, or kind of, like we were showing like the different items. Then 5 is just the Supernova logo again.
And that is probably pulled from that second video, now that I'm looking at it.
Number 6 is original, the complete hard difficulty. And it's okay, but it's, again, not really selling anything. And then number 7 is just a different item showing from number 4.
Yeah.
Yeah, so those 2 don't necessarily count. So
then we have a total of how many?
I believe it's
2,
5. If we don't, let me see. Was
4.
this? Well, actually, yeah, technically 4, because you can see at the. Well, it's a different image, or it's a different like scene of the items in the trailer, but it's still too similar to like we can't.
Exactly.
Yeah, so we have 4 images, which again you want to have at least 5. And again, the ones that are original are good, but there's not exactly one that is selling the game on, you know, what you're looking at. So with the fact that we do have those repeats, taking it down to 4, which we want at least 5, I think grade-wise for me, I'm going to give it. I think I'm going to drop my original thought down to a C for the images.
Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and drop mine down to. I'm gonna probably give it a C minus, and that's just because you have so much from watching the trailer. There's so much stuff you could have here, and so it's just a lot of missed opportunities. They had free content for screenshots, and having dupes. I don't like the duplicates when they're too similar. So yeah, I'm gonna have to go a C minus on this one.
All right. I'll go with a C, then we'll kind of like average the 2 there.
Okay.
All right, let's go down to the about this game. So, we start off with a GIF of some combat. We have some explosions happening, and I would say it's a pretty good GIF, again, for this style of game.
I think that's a great one to start off with. Very impactful.
Then we go down to key features. We have everything nicely formatted. We have bold text, games 3 difficulties, random battles. And this is where we'll talk about the Discord banner in a second. But this is, again, another prime opportunity for GIFs. You have in the trailer all these different elements. Again, persistent upgrades, endless scaling, show that in GIF form here.
Yeah, big missed opportunity again. I mean, they start off really strong here with this excellent GIF, and they just need to continue that with every other topic they have that they have free content for.
Yep.
And so just really having the content and missing it again is just that's a little bit sad.
Yeah. And one of the other points is that during the trailer, they showed a lot of stuff kind of rapid fire. The enemy buffs, the items, and I think maybe one other thing. Yeah. This could have been the perfect place to slow that down just so someone can actually process, okay, what are some things that are going to be in this game?
Yeah, and just like we said, the readability of the font also affected that. So that would be your second chance to slow it down and show me what's going on. There were so many things in the trailer that went by fast, and I would like to see it in GIF format and see what's actually happening. So just missed opportunity. Yeah. And it would, I mean, you have so much in that trailer. The trailer came out great. No reasons not to have good GIFs. GIFs.
And then, like, this upgrade your units. Again, like, one of the things I always like to harp on is that if you have, like, visible differences with characters, whether it's a personalization, customization, or both, show that. Show this guy having, standard armor, and then, power armor, and then, giant sword, or whatever. Because that's, again, it's free content for your store page.
Yeah, and it's like attract mode. It's free attract mode.
So the Discord banner, from a structure standpoint, this should have been at the top of the store page, because you always want to have like community stuff right at the forefront. And again, like, here's the weird thing: if you look at this Supernova, the actual background of it, that looks like, again, a far better version of the thumbnail from up here.
Exactly, and I'm just looking at that. Like, if that would draw me in a little more. Just tell me a little bit. It's like, okay, well, this is about space, or it flows a little better. Also, again, it needs to be at the top, and it's always like when we're talking about the GIFs here. It's always, I like seeing the Discord as a GIF also, right? Yeah. And it just like bouncing around or doing something. It just makes it look more lively and professional, and it's a free one to, like, free content again to do. Like, there's no reason to miss that one.
It kind of feels like the thumbnail that they put up there was kind of like very first pass at it, and then they never had a chance to go back and maybe take some of the other stuff they developed and turn that into the thumbnail for the store page.
Agreed. And there's also a flag for why they might not have come back to update it when we go down lower with the Twitter issue.
Yep, exactly. So, all in all, for the About page, structurally it's there, but it's just missing that extra oomph that could push it far higher.
Yeah.
So, I think grade for me, I'm gonna give, I think, a C+.
Yeah, and I'm gonna go with a C-. Again, it's just like, after seeing all the content you could put in there, I just think it's just a shame that it's not there, because it would look amazing and it really like up its game here.
Yeah, and so this is one of those examples, and we'll talk about this probably when we get to the conclusion, of a store page where very minor things would need to be added to probably boost the grade up quite dramatically.
Right, like 20%, like just a 20% increase would give you like an 80% more result, right? Just a little bit more, and it would really give it a huge bump, because everything is pretty much there, right?
It's just putting the pieces together.
Exactly.
All right, so with that, let's get to the title card. Okay. So let's go over here. Alright, so for our title card, we start off with a lot of genre tags, and that's always good. The only one I could honestly see them missing is single player.
Right.
Everything else is on point.
Yes.
So here's what Josh was alluding to. When we checked out the Twitter that's here, that account is no longer available. And the reason why we found out when we looked at the YouTube channel. The developer is working on a tower defense follow-up, Supernova TD, and that has its own store page, its own Twitter, and so on. So this is definitely a ding. If you're going to have a new Twitter account, new Twitter profile, it's going to be your main. You want to have that updated, and it's oftentimes why for like any developers who have multiple games, multiple projects, you want to kind of have at least one unified
Yeah.
social media account, your actual studio, and then you can have the individual ones for each of your games. This is blah 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 blah, and we're making this and this and this. And part of the reason why you do that, one, it gives it a little more legitimacy. And two, it means that if someone wants to talk to you or reach out to you, whether your game is a day old, 5 years old, whatever, they can find you very easily. Again, you never want to make it hard for people to find you.
Exactly. Exactly. And Josh, what do you think about using Twitter accounts for each game instead of having just one unified? Because I'm thinking about the
Yeah.
downsides, like here, because they weren't managing it or because they down for some reason, and we were left with a dead end to contact them with. So
Mhm.
there's a downside there. So what do you think about that?
I think if you have like a dedicated like social media or PR person who can keep them all active, then more power to you. But if you are a solo or a very small team, you're not necessarily focusing on social media 24/7, I think having just the one dedicated would work better for you.
Agreed. Agreed.
So with that, we have the Discord server right here as well. So all in all, they are definitely above and beyond in terms of the tags, in terms of the information. But
Yes.
we do have to ding them for the fact that Twitter is not updated and things like that. So for me, I then will give this title card a B minus.
Yeah, and they hit all the marks pretty much. That the Twitter almost makes me want to go down a little bit on it, but I'm gonna go with a B minus also, just because they got all the tags, everything's there. So
Mm-hmm. So with that said, let's get to the final grade. So
okay,
as always, we start with the trailer and then we kind of work from there. So, excuse me, the trailer we gave that a B minus. So everything else is either equal or less than it. And as we were discussing this before we started recording, this feels very much like a store page where a lot of time and energy was focused on the trailer, which is good, but then not enough, I think, was carried over to the other individual elements.
exactly, exactly. I mean, again, that trailer shows so much,
Mm-hmm.
um, so much, potential, and none of it transposed over to the store. And it just kind of makes you feel like the store is an afterthought. The
Mm-hmm.
like that their title, you know, it looks like kind of like the first pass, and it's like, well, they didn't come back and edit it. So it just
Mm-hmm.
kind of gives you an afterthought feeling, and there's so much potential here. So this is again missed potential on
Yeah.
this one.
And we took a peek at the store page for their next game, and it follows almost, I think, word to word the
Identical.
same layout as this one. So hopefully this will go up. It's supposed to be coming out in 2024, so hopefully the developer will look at this and make some adjustments. Because all in all, again, the pieces are here. Like, we can't grade the store page on the quality of the game or the aesthetics of the game itself. We can only grade on what we're seeing and how it's being marketed or presented to the consumer.
Indeed.
So for my final grade, as I said, I gave the trailer a B minus, and while there isn't anything that's bad enough to lower it, I don't think it's going to get anything higher. So my overall final grade is going to be a B minus.
Yeah. I'm gonna go ahead and go with a C plus.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so much. I mean, definitely going in the right direction. So hopefully, next store page, like you said, they listen and they make some adjustments because they really have everything's there. It's just like
Mm-hmm.
you said, putting the pieces together, putting the puzzle together correctly.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'm just gonna ding it a little bit because I feel like there was so much there for them to do, and they just didn't do it. So
Mm-hmm. Yep, and again, with these store pages, when you have a lot of like customizable elements or
Yeah,
personalization elements, that stuff is just easy money for your store
easy,
page.
easy.
Fill those gifs up. Show me that there is more to this game than just, two static images or
Right,
one thing.
right. See, and that's the thing. Like,
Mhm.
if I just see like one or two static images and just like one GIF, it makes me feel like there's not enough content or something's missing or you didn't go through there. If you just flood me with GIFs and flood me with different
Mhm.
screenshots and whatever, then it gives me an impression that there's a lot going on in this game and there's something I want to look at. But when you leave me with the tumbleweed feeling,
Mhm.
that's not good. And again, so just, I mean, 70 items, do a GIF of the 70 items, like you said, do a
Mhm.
GIF of all the different enemies, free shot, free content there. So please don't miss those things.
Yep. And like we said, like with a few tweaks, this
Yeah.
could easily be in the B to high B range.
Yes.
Because the structure here is there. Like, this is a good structure you want. You have your GIF, you have a very easy to read, easy to understand key features, you have another banner. We just need more stuff here to really make it pop. And
Indeed.
again, one of the hardest things for certain genres is getting that money shot image or that, wow moment out of your trailer. And part of that, again, is the aesthetic and the genre that you're working in. If you're working on a turn based strategy game, you can't exactly get that bombastic nature as if you were making a Souls like or a survival horror game. And it's why you need to be very mindful, again, of how you're presenting things to the consumer. Because you're going to have two distinct groups of people looking at your store page: the people who have never heard of the genre before, and the people who are very well acquainted with it. And your
Indeed.
store page's job is, again, to sell to both those groups.
Well said, Josh.
So I think with that, there really isn't anything else to say about this one. I hope the developer, again, is watching and they will make some tweaks to their
Yes.
next game. And for Josh down there, of course, this was probably the best store page you've seen, at least from your time
Yes.
reviewing. So we're moving up. We're
We're going
slowly
up.
getting up there.
Yeah, the store page is definitely, again, like, definitely have everything there. And for your next game, you're definitely on the right track. Just make those tweaks and you can easily have an amazing, like, really great store page. So,
Hmm.
excellent.
So again, for those of you watching, if you are working on a game that's either out or coming soon, you would like us to review your store page, we're getting back into the regular routine of these. So reach out, you'll find content links down there. I'm over there, Twitter, all that. Just however you want to reach out, let us know.
Yeah, and all my links are down there. And let us know.
Be sure to do all the liking, subscribing, commenting, bell ringing, and all that. We'll be back with another episode real soon. And come back for daily discussions on game design here and on game wisdom, where we examine the art and science of games. And Josh, as always, thanks for hanging out and providing your advice as well on these store pages.
Oh, yeah, always an honor. I'm excited to be here and view the stem pages like always.
All right. With that said, everyone, have a great night. And until next time, take care.